We could just come in talk. I'll just come in talking
Yeah,
to
that's
you.
so
Did you
true.
turn it on?
You're live now.
Am I live? Am I live right now? Yeah. Hi, everybody. Jeff is behind the microphone today. Hey, it's Ken coming to you live from the Circle R Ranch here in sunny, beautiful Toledo, Ohio, where it is snowing
Yes.
fitfully, and it's awful. And I have Taya with me. Taya, say hi.
What up?
Taya's
Oh my
from.
gosh.
It's so exciting to have you here.
I'm so excited to be here. I'm like geeking out just a little bit.
Yeah. And your band is?
Meet me at the altar.
And your new record is?
Past, Present, Future, which is out literally today. What a great way to celebrate.
Yeah,
right?
for sure. We've been wanting to meet for how long? Well,
It's been like.
I don't want to get ahead of myself here because we have this very exciting 12 questions thing that we have to get through, and I think we're going to get to all of this in the 12 questions. So I don't want to get ahead of myself,
true.
but I would just like to say welcome to our Friday show. And again, we have Jeff behind instead of Miss Penny. Jeff is running the show in the producer chair. So if you have any questions, you can get them to Jeff, and he's going to remember, and he'll be able to ask them when we're done. But we're going to go with this 12 questions live, which is one of my favorite things, because I like getting artists into the shop, putting them in the hot seat, and catching them off guard, right?
Yeah.
Isn't that what we do?
I'm ready for it.
All right. Taya, give us a brief history of your playing career.
Yeah, so I got my first guitar when I was 4 years old, technically.
Whoa!
And it was this little teal acoustic guitar with flowers on it that I like never touched. But I think I was like always fascinated with my dad's electrics. So when I turned 7, he got me, I don't even know what it was, but he got me this like, I think it was a first act. It was like a first act electric guitar. And I remember just like, I didn't know how to play it, but I would sit in my garage and I would turn on the radio, which was like, it was like the Script and the Fray and like Sarah Bareilles at the time.
Okay.
And I would just listen to like the notes that I was hearing, and I would just find it. I would just find what I was hearing on the frets and kind of learn how to play just by ear.
Okay.
Didn't know that guitar tutorials were a thing that would really help me out in the early days, or like tabs or anything. So I would, and I have such a specific memory of watching The Only Exception music video by Paramore, and I would pause the music video and look at where their hands were, and I would just like copy, where their fingers were and like learned chords that way, which I guess it worked, so.
Yeah. So how did that parlay then into you playing live? Did you get involved with guitar playing in school or something? Or
So, you know what?
how did it turn into a band thing for you?
I think, so I started getting into like the scene and like bands like Neck Deep and Knuckle Puck and The Story So Far around when I met Ada, our drummer,
Okay.
which I met her through her drum covers that she used to post on YouTube. So I kind of got inspired to like start doing YouTube covers myself, and like I would just cover like Real Friends and like Blink-182, just like whatever songs I was into at the time. And for those, I would either learn by ear, or at that point I knew what guitar tutorials were. So I would just like watch them and learn the songs. But I realized that I wanted to be like in a band and I wanted to perform when I saw Paramore live for the first time, which was 2014 when they toured with Fall Out Boy. And it was just something about seeing Haley on stage that like, and just her like carefree energy that like made me want to do that. Which is crazy because that venue that I saw them at, we actually played for the first time, I think it was it last year or 2 years ago at this point, with 21 Pilots, which was, that was like the best day of my life. Like nothing has topped that so far.
Yeah, right.
That was insane, but yeah, we just like started the band and wanted to play.
How long ago did you start the band?
That was 2015, summer of 2015, so we're going on 8 years. Yeah. That's weird to say. I'm so young, I'm 22, so it's like, I was really 14 when we started the band, so like 8 years, what? But yeah, it's been a while.
It's amazing how many people that I talk to, and how many women that I talk to that were inspired by Paramore. I mean, I'm not surprised,
Right.
but
They have
but
such
that
an impact.
I've never seen them live.
Are you serious?
No, I'm serious. I've never, and I have 2 daughters your age, and somehow I bet Kira's seen Paramore. I don't know, 10 times. I don't know.
Have you?
Yeah,
Now I gotta get on that.
yeah.
They're so good.
No, I know. And of course, we've worked with Fall Out Boy a little bit over the years. Joel's had a handful of Reverends. Our introduction to Joe Troman was really cool because he bought a Reverend from a music store and then was holding it in an Electro Harmonix ad in a magazine. And we're like, holy shit, the dude in Fall Out Boy has a Reverend. Like, that's how we found out he had a Reverend.
That's so cool.
And then we ended up being in touch with him and we did some stuff. He actually did an Booth appearance for us a few years ago. Really super nice dude.
That's really cool.
King Bolt player. He was doing that metal band with the Scotty Ian from Anthrax and what was it called?
Damn Things twice.
Damn Things, yeah. Anyway, cool. You know what? I think you answered half the questions.
Did I
on our
really?
sheet. Yeah, but
I
but that's
tend to
okay.
do
We're
that.
gonna keep going. So the next question is what inspired you to start playing, and so let's revisit this thing with your dad.
Yeah.
So your dad plays electric guitar?
Yeah.
Does he play in bands and stuff?
So no, he was never in a band, but both my dad and my grandpa on my mom's side played guitar. Like my grandpa, he's like a big jazz guy. Like he'll just like turn on Music Choice and like just play along to whatever is up there. And
That's
there's
awesome.
actually, I wish I had them on me, but there's pictures of me as an infant just like touching his guitar, which my mom was never allowed to touch his guitars, but he let me, a baby, touch his guitars. It's like so cool that it ended up,
Yeah.
I ended up being a guitar player, but my dad would always play and like, I don't even know what, it's just like, it was so long ago that I don't know at what point like me seeing him play guitar like made me want to do it too. Yeah.
We already sort of covered your first electric guitar, the first act thing. So your dad and your grandpa playing jazz, would they have like hollow bodies and stuff?
Yeah. And you know what's funny? I wrote our like very, very first EP. This was before Edith, our current lead singer, was in the band. It was just me and Ada. And I wrote that on a hollow body at my grandparents' house because I was staying with them for the summer that we started the band. So like that, we were literally born out of their house, which is like, I haven't even really put 2 and 2 together, but that's so sweet that everything like started from there, but yeah.
So my first band rehearsed in my grandparents' basement.
That's so cool.
And my uncle was a guitar player, and that was the big thing that inspired me to start playing guitar.
Yeah.
And then because my grandparents were around it so much when my uncle was young, even when my band started off with like Black Flag covers and shit like that. I mean, it was the mid '80s. And
we were a cover band at first too. Yeah.
And my grandparents were totally cool with us blowing my grandfather had a bar in his basement, and he'd sit at that basement bar and get hammered and watch us kids tear up punk rock.
Yeah.
It was a good time.
Did they
that's
understand the music, or they were just like, you guys are cool?
Yeah, I don't think it mattered.
Yeah.
I think they just liked having the energy around their house. But
Right.
I can totally relate to that. That's really cool. That's super interesting. So this is going to come right out of the blue. Are you ready? You can't think about this.
Okay.
All right. I just need.
Rapid
What are your
fire.
top 5 favorite records? Go.
Oh my God. All We Know Is Falling, Peripheral Vision by Turnover. Oh, Life's Not Out to Get You by Neck Deep. That's a keeper. Glow On by Turnstile. And this is so hard to like just pull it off the top of my head. Honestly, I gotta say like the Jonas Brothers, like self-titled, because it was just so good. It was so good. It was like, I don't know if you've like actually taken the time to like listen to it, but it was solid. And it was rock music.
Yeah. Yeah. Good, solid pop songwriting.
Pop songwriting on some like
Yeah.
rock guitars.
I'm just glad that you're 22 and that I knew 4 of the 5
Yeah.
that you said. Yeah.
Which one did you not know?
The first one. I still don't even remember.
Paramore.
Oh, wait. So it must have been the second one.
Peripheral Vision
Yeah.
by Turnover. Yeah.
I'm not familiar with that one.
They.
And my daughters are both going, God, Dad, you're such an idiot.
I know, right? Oh, wait. Do you know, Citizen?
I can feel them.
You know Citizen?
Of course.
Okay, so
Yeah,
they're
from,
like kind of in that vein.
They're from here.
Oh, that's so cool. I didn't
Citizen
know.
is from right down the road.
Oh, wow. That's sick.
Guitar player lives a few doors down.
Damn. I love how everyone just knows everyone. Like,
Yeah. Once you get into, Toledo, but I mean, this industry as a whole is,
Yes.
it's a lot smaller than people think it is.
It
And
really
so once you
is.
start like talking to people in this business and that's, people always ask me for advice, on how to like do things in the music instrument business or whatever. And I always tell everybody, you have to be nice to everybody.
You
And
do.
everybody, because
Every single
the
person.
guy who you treat like shit is gonna be the guy that is running stage sound for you
Right.
like a couple years from now somewhere, and you already
They're gonna remember
yeah,
that.
oh, absolutely. And you just
Mhm.
and plus, of course, you should just be nice to people anyway.
Right.
But every time I see somebody being rude to somebody in this business, I'm always like, "Ooh,
You're gonna regret
you're
that.
gonna regret that." Yeah, that's gonna come around.
It is.
So what? You already answered this too, but you can say it again. What is your proudest moment of your playing career so far? And I think it was playing with 21 Pilots.
Yeah, that was definitely the best moment of my life. But
That's really exciting. So how big was the venue? What was the venue?
It was Mid Florida Credit Union Amphitheater.
Okay.
I don't even know what cap it is, but like it was an amphitheater, so like they held Warped Tour there when it would come through Tampa. Like
Okay.
it was one of those kind of venues, and that was just such a surreal moment. But I honestly feel like making our record was like such a huge thing for me, because like first of all, I used like all Reverends on it, which like before I had done like a little bit of a mix, but it was all Reverends, and I don't know, this was like the first time where I really felt like we were putting like 100% us into something, and not like just like putting ourselves in the box of like genre, which we have before. So
Sure,
we were
sure.
just like playing to play and creating to create, and I think like it translates like into like the authenticity of it, and you can like hear it, which is
I
really
can't wait to
cool.
hear it.
Yeah, like it's literally like fresh. It just
Yeah,
came out.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
I've got some driving to do over the next
And it sounds
couple
so
of days.
good.
So
It sounds
yeah,
so
I'm
good.
looking forward to it. So how did you? Well, before I go on to the next question, so you guys have done some like national TV already
Yeah.
too, and some talk show stuff. I mean,
That's like
that's got to be exciting.
it's very like I constantly ask myself like, what is this life like? Because we were on Stephen Colbert, like Kelly Clarkson. Why does Kelly Clarkson know who we are? Like that's so strange. I grew up listening to her on the radio all the time. Like there's just been so many.
What
like,
was it like meeting her?
We didn't.
You
We
didn't?
didn't. It was a pre-recorded thing, so we
Oh,
didn't even
that's
get to meet her. But she said a whole lot of shit about us. Like she,
Yeah, I
she
saw
was
the
just
clip.
like going off. We were like, she said all that, but
That's cool.
yeah.
So how did you first hear about us?
Funny story. So we, back in 2019, were technically on a headliner, but we were playing to like 10 people a show. It was a self-booked tour that I booked because I
Been
wanted to tour. Yes. You got to start somewhere.
Absolutely.
You got to start somewhere. And we were in Indianapolis playing this like church that was haunted, allegedly, which I believe it because everything was going wrong that show. It was crazy. But my guitar shit out on me. I was playing ESP LTD, and it just stopped working for some reason. And the band that we were on tour with had a Reverend. And I was like, dude, can I borrow your guitar? Like, my guitar stopped working. And they let me use it. I don't even remember what model it was. I think it was one of the Chargers that I played. And I just fucking loved it. I loved everything about it. I loved, first of all, I noticed how light it was, which was really important to me because I like jump around a lot on stage. And like those ESPs are heavy. They're heavy. And the tone was just so bright. And like, with a lot of distortion, it's very easy for it to get muddy, but you could hear like all the notes that I was playing, and that really made me fall in love with Reverend, for sure.
When we got you your first guitar, because so the first one that you owned, you got from us, right?
Yeah.
Like the artist deal thing.
Yep.
And I can remember after you started doing some shows with it, Penny continually coming into the office like, have you seen this Taya girl? Have you seen this Taya girl? And we have hundreds of pictures of you 3 feet in the air.
Yeah.
Like every time we got a picture, we're like,
got some hops.
These pictures are fantastic.
Yeah, I've calmed down with the hops a little bit. That's
Yeah.
not good for the knees for the long run, but
22, and she's saying that, by the way.
Yeah.
Just so you know.
I don't
I'm-
jump anymore either.
I'm
Yeah, I don't jump
trying to
anymore
get
either.
ahead of it, you know,
Yeah.
for the long-term damage.
Yeah, you were part of Penny's. We had a little Reverend Guitars Make You Levitate campaign. And I think you and Matt West from Neck Deep were
Yeah.
the main drivers of that campaign for sure.
Love Matt.
So what Reverend guitars are you using? And I purposely put the Z1 in your lap because I know you're using the Z1 on the current tour.
Yes, this is my baby right now. The Z1 is just like, it's everything that I would want in a guitar, because like it has the perfect amount of low end but balance with that high end. It's just like, it's so punchy, and I love it for the type of music that we play. But the Z1 is my number one right now, and then I've got the purple
crosscut.
crosscut, which that one was my baby before this one, so it's like number 2 right now.
And it makes sense that you would go, because the pickups are similar between the
Yeah.
crosscut and this. So the crosscut has the Railhammer clean cut pickups in it, and these are obviously the Billy's Z1 pickups, which are significantly hotter than the clean cuts, but they have a lot of the same tonal properties because the pickups are constructed the same. So it makes
Yup.
sense that they would sound good through your rig. So speaking of your rig, then what pedals and amps are you using while you're touring live?
So I don't have any pedals. I'm like straight through a Kemper right now.
Okay, like Matt West style.
Yeah, which
Okay.
is nice because like
Sure.
it's just so contained. I've got like one thing I gotta lug in and not like a whole half stack going. But yeah, I use.
So are you guys using in-ears?
in-ears for
In-ears,
sure.
okay.
Yeah, and rocking with Dave Grohl's tone a lot. Like it's just so, it's perfect. I love it so much.
Got it?
Yeah.
All right. You see, we have a lot of old guy stuff here. A lot of glass tubes.
Yeah.
We're surrounded by.
Heavy.
They are all heavy, which is why most of them stay here. And especially that thing.
Yeah. I
I
would
just
not
pointed to the
touch
high
that.
watt stack, which those of you watching probably know that we have a 1970s high watt stack here, which is a lot bigger.
It's like
than,
7 feet tall.
yeah, it's a lot bigger than Taya for sure.
For sure.
And yeah, it's.
Can you
it's loud
imagine
as
lugging
God.
that up some stairs?
I have. And
Oh.
yes, I can imagine it. And it's
Very vividly.
It's horrible.
Absolutely not.
If you're taking that to shows you have road.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, you have people rolling that stuff out for you.
Oh, wow.
But yeah, we have a lot of artists that tour with Kempers and love the reliability and the ease of use.
Yeah.
And you know, yeah, not lugging cabinets and all that stuff. I mean, there's
And they can
there's a thing to it.
do so much. And like when we got them, it was like a couple weeks before we went on the road with Coheed, and then we just stayed on the road. So I didn't really have time to like do a deep dive and like really figure out all they can do. But for this, like,
Do you have a foot controller that you use with the amp?
yeah, but we don't have it set up with MIDI yet, which that will be such a game changer, because like I won't even have to switch like anything, but they can do so much.
Yeah, then you can just have it controlled from the side of the stage or whatever. How many different tones do you find yourself using in your set? I mean, do you use like a combination of clean and dirty tones in between stuff?
I do, like, I kind of rotate about like 4, because
Okay.
I have like a 6505 that I use the most, and then like JCM for some of the cleaner parts, but like still a little bit of dirt and like some reverb on there. And then I have like cleaner tones with a hollow body for like a softer song. And yeah, I feel like I have a good mix going on right now.
Oh yeah, we just sent Taya Club King.
Yes, and it is
Yeah.
fantastic. We have a song called A Few Tomorrows, which is more of like a ballad, and yes,
Nice.
that works so well for that. It's perfect.
The Club King's pretty unique. I mean, not only is it unique for us, but it's just unique in the guitar world in general, because it's an electric guitar with a spruce top, but it still has a bolt-on neck. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So it incorporates different features of semi-hollows, sort of mixed with what we do traditionally with a bolt-on 25.5-inch scale neck. So it's bright and it feels comfortable to you because you're
does.
used to the feel of it.
Yup.
Yet you have the bigger body and the spruce top that gives it a little bit of that acoustic zing
Yeah.
and that real note-to-note definition. It should sound pretty jangly. Do you run that with both pickups on? when
Yeah,
you're
I
doing
do.
that?
Yup. Mm-hmm.
Cool. Very cool.
And that's like, it's just a sweet spot. It
Yeah.
sounds so good, especially with like some reverb on there. Chef's
Nice.
kiss.
So here's my favorite question. Do you have any unusual skills or hobbies outside of the music world that you'd like to share with us?
I'm a pretty like, I'm not, okay, I don't want to like dog on myself, but I'm kind of boring outside of guitar. Like guitar is like kind of it. I mean, yeah, I don't really have hobbies, really. I don't know. I mean, I like to play video games sometimes, but I wouldn't consider myself a gamer. Like,
Okay.
I'm like GTA,
Like you dabble in it?
that's it. Yeah.
Yeah, you
Maybe
gotta
some
pass some
Toontown.
time in the van. What do you do to pass time in the van? You do the game, social media, gaming a little bit.
Okay, so I don't like what TikTok has done to the music industry,
Okay.
but
I'm
I will
drawing it out.
I will scroll through TikTok. But honestly, this sounds boring, but I like to just sit and look out the window. And it, like this tour, I left my headphone dongle, so I haven't even been able to like listen to music. I've just been sitting in the van, just like looking out the window as time passes. But I like to think. I'm a thinker. I like to be up in my head, but
I like
yeah.
that.
I like to.
I take the train a lot.
You take train?
And
I don't have
like-
anywhere to take the train to.
I've taken the train across country a few times.
Really?
And I take it to New York from here.
Is that
occasionally.
like, what is that like compared to like the
Well, you-
subway?
You sit and look out the window.
Yeah.
You see into the backyards of all the industrial areas. and
Yeah, and
people across the
cornfields
country,
and-
and I can just sit. I always bring books, and I think I'm going to read or I think I'm going
I
to work
should-
or whatever, and then I just sit there and stare out the window. So I know exactly what you're talking about.
It's
Yeah.
it's just nice to like, I don't know, just be like present and just observe.
So what advice do you have for up and coming players?
I would advise to not get caught up in comparing yourself to other people, especially like if like I was a self-taught player, so there's like so much that I don't know, and like it's easy to get caught up in that sometimes and like feel like you don't know more than other people, which is like it's okay and like that's fine, but if you love to play, just like play and play for you, like to like just do what you love, and especially like if you want to like be in a band and you want to start touring and stuff, just do it. Like no one would take us on tour, so we just Googled how do you book a tour, and like we did it. You know, like you can literally do anything you want because the internet is so powerful.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So how do you parlay that answer into being, it was just International Women's Day, right? And you guys
Yeah.
are very successful, women managed and
Yes.
fronted band, right?
Our whole crew, everything.
And so, I mean, this sounds like, this sounds like such a silly question coming from like, old rock guy, me or whatever. But I mean, what do you have to say to the girls who look at you and go, hey, I want to be that?
Yeah.
Like you looked at Paramore
Yeah.
and like you looked at Haley and went like, hey, I want to be that, right? I mean,
Yeah.
is there something that you would say? How do you push that energy forward? Just by being yourself?
Yeah. Well, yeah, no, like literally just by being real and being open and honest about like literally everything. Because if you like, it's something that I've learned is it takes a really long time to get to where you want to be, because like we just had a head start because we started so early, but this was an 8-year process for us to get to where we are, and that process can be discouraging, especially as women in music, because there's a lot of kind of doors that you have to kick open versus
Sure.
it being open for you. But there's something about like the struggle that's the fun part, you know, is literally breaking down those barriers and just like having this attitude of just taking up space unapologetically. And that's something that's like, you don't have to do too much. You just have to exist in those spaces and be willing to take up space. And that in itself is helping like kick down the door for other women. Like, I just want us to inspire other people to know that they can do it, because like someone's got to do it, you know, first. Even though we're not first, like there were so many artists that came before us, but like in this age, you know, we're like ahead of the new wave of bands that are coming up. And yeah.
Well, you guys have a shit ton of fans within our artist roster. Did you see Lynn from Bad Cop going on and on social media about how excited she was that you were going to be? They're
and we
incredible,
still
man.
haven't met Lynn yet, like, but she's been riding for us for a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, she was telling me how much she wanted to tour with you guys, how much they wanted to like make that happen, and
yeah.
I love it. I love it when the artists that we work with, like, when
love
they
each
have
other.
that, when that energy comes together with each other is the coolest thing.
Yeah,
You know?
and like Matt, like I love Matt. We've played a couple festivals together and stuff. Like, it's always cool to, you know, be with another Reverend homie.
Yeah, yeah. Matt's now. So something you were saying too reminded me of Matt, because Matt is like, they call him the Wizard.
Yeah.
Right, which is so funny.
Why do they call him the Wizard?
It has something to do with, it's a guitar thing, you know. And we have this like fun little Matt. One of his signature guitars is right behind you, and we have this fun little wizard look. Matt has got the most powerful right hand. We have a friend in Toledo, a buddy of ours, Joe, and we say he's got the best right hand in Toledo or whatever. But his rhythm chops are just like ridiculous.
Yeah.
And Matt's rhythm chops are just.
It's like the follow through is crazy.
Right, they drive that whole band.
Yes.
Like this thing that he does, and he will self-depreciate to me, like about doing something like this. He'll be like, "Well, I don't really whittly." Yeah, good. Right, because this style that you've created is just it's awesome and it's powerful and it's connecting with people. Look at how it connected with you.
No, seriously.
And so it doesn't, like, whatever somebody's individual, the thing that they're bringing to the table, like, own it and bring it to the table, right?
So
because
true.
it doesn't necessarily matter, again, what other people can do. I spend a lot of time in this chair with Reverend artist Greg Koch. And Greg is just like, he's incomparable. He's like one of the best players in the world.
Yeah.
And he practices 6 hours a day, and he plays every note and knows every chord and does everything.
That's what I aspire to be.
And he does all the articulated,
yeah, I can't do
hybrid
that.
kicking and all the right. And I have to sit here and be like,
right.
you know, and I just
right. It's like, let me figure that out ahead of time before I like.
right. But it doesn't matter because that's what I do, and that's what he does, and we all have this like. We're all part of this thing, and it's awesome. You know what I mean? And like, you're very inspiring to me, and I've been doing this for 35 years. You know, and I sit here and listen to you talk, and I'm like, yeah, fuck yeah, that's the attitude. Like, it's just very cool. So, I will save the. Let's see if anybody asks any questions out there. Jeff, do we have anything in particular?
We got some stuff to discuss here.
Okay.
Hidden bonus fee. Said, OMG, she's literally the reason I've gotten into Reverend guitars. Someday I'll get one.
Yes! Let's go. No, you should.
That's
you
awesome.
really should. I'm not just saying that because I'm sitting next to him. No, they're so great.
Also, our own in-house John Zenz mentioned that you guys were on All Songs Considered on NPR this morning.
Hell yeah! That is so
Wow.
cool. There's just like, there's so much that happens that like I don't even know about until like other people are like, hey, did you see this? I'm like, no, I didn't.
Oh, that's great.
That is so sick.
That is.
So Eric wanted to know if your dad or grandfather have checked out any of your Reverends?
Yeah, my dad, like, he's always going off about how just, like, they're pretty. They are pretty guitars, and, like, they just, low-key, I try to match my outfits to my guitars sometimes, because, like, it's like a little accessory that you put on. But, yeah, my grandpa, he lives in Virginia, and I live in Florida, so I don't see him that often, but my mom will, like, send him all the pictures and stuff, and he's like, go on, girl, you know?
Awesome.
Yeah.
Scott wanted to know if you've tried a Sensei.
A Sensei? No, I haven't. Do you have one of those in there?
Somewhere.
No.
Yeah, no, you're a bolt on neck player. It's a little bit of a different vibe, but we'll put one in your hands before
Yeah.
you
I gotta
sure.
feel it out.
Yeah. JB Campbell wants to know how many Revs you own.
How many do I own? I think I have 5 or 6.
go. Yeah, I was going to say 5 or 6.
Cause I have one Reverend bass, which is the short
Sentinel.
neck. Yeah, the Sentinel. And I think I have. I don't know if it's 4 or 5. I think it's 5 with the hollow body now.
Yeah, Double Agent, Crosscut, Z1, Club King. Right, the first one was a Double Agent or
And-
Charger HB. Isn't there an Alpine Charger
Do I have a
too?
6-gun?
Maybe.
I think. I'm like, why I'm asking you? It's in my
Yeah.
like.
Yeah, that's how it goes sometimes.
Yeah, she's got so many. Don't even
Guitar
know.
players. Yeah.
I have 6.
I'm coming for
My
you.
rack's full, so I'm just like, I can't.
Yeah, right.
Mm-hmm. What you need to do is buy another rack.
Johnny Cola
Johnny.
coming in. He says the band has no bass. Does that put more pressure on you?
Well, so when we go to write and record and stuff, like I do all the bass, and that's fun to me. Like I really enjoy it, and if I could play both at the same time, I so would. But like live now, like I'll play guitar and then like I'll play bass for a few songs, then like switch back to guitar. So like I wouldn't say it's pressure at all, just because I love it. And I've like had a newfound love for bass like within this record too, because I've always been a guitar person, but there's just something so special about bass that like I'm leaning more into that these days. But yeah, I love it.
Awesome. Jeffrey.
Yeah. Right over here.
Excellent.
Nice.
So, before we wrap up, I'll start with what we have coming up, and then we'll get to what you guys have coming
Sweet.
up. So, Reverend, we have a lot of things happening that we're really excited about, and a lot of big announcements were made this week. But for me personally, Jay Navarro and the Traders are heading to Texas over the weekend, and we are playing in Deep Ellum in Dallas Monday night on the Bad Times Records tour with Kill Lincoln and Catbite.
Nice.
And then we are going to be playing South by Southwest on Tuesday in Austin at the Pink Flamingo, or the Flamingo Cantina, that's it. And of course that is the continuation of the Bad Times Records tour. So, and Reverend has sponsored that show down there, so it's going to be a riot.
That is
And
sick.
we're to Kill Lincoln, We Are the Union, Catbite, Jay Navarro and the
Oh.
Traders, and Jer from the Scott2 Network's on the show, and I get to hang out with Jer, which is awesome. So we're really looking forward to that. That's next
I wish I
week.
could go. Screw our
I-
tour.
So we're so watch socials for updates on all that stuff, and then we are very excited to announce. The announcement was just made Wednesday, and tickets are on sale for the Reverend NAMM Showcase in Anaheim, California, Friday, April 15th or oh, I'm so bad about this. The Friday of NAMM weekend, and we are having. I told you about this when we were doing the tour. We're really excited to have our all-female showcase of Reverend artists, Lilac Cadillac and our good friend Tori Ross, and then Hello Mary from Brooklyn, and Bad Cop, Bad Cop. And that show is going to be a chain reaction.
Oh, it's
in-
that chain?
It's a chain
Oh.
reaction, yeah. In Anaheim. It's open to the public. Tickets are on sale now. through Chain Reaction. If you go to Bad Cop's website, you can find all that stuff. So you're welcome to come down and see that. If you are attending the NAMM show, you can reach out to me and I can see what I can do about passes on my end. And so yes, all of that is happening. Hello Mary is coming to the NAMM show with us. They will also be playing on the Hilton stage at the NAMM show on Thursday night. So we're starting to enter. I'm not even done with South by Southwest, and I'm already entering the hell that is NAMM show planning. So
you got to take over.
yeah, a lot of really exciting things happening there, and then more to come after that. So, and what is going on with you guys?
Well, our debut album dropped literally today. Past, present, future, go stream it or buy it if you want, because that would really help us out. And we are on our first headliner right now, which we're stopping in Detroit tomorrow, and then we're moving towards the west. So if you can come out to a show, come catch us, because it's a fun time, and it's sweaty. We played Cleveland last night, or 2 nights ago. I've never sweat that much in my entire life. Nice. Oh my Lord. But
where'd you play in Cleveland?
We played, where? Oh, we played at, Mayhalls? Is that how it's, Mahalls? See, I said Mahalls, and then other people said Mayhalls, and I was like, which is it? Mahalls seems like it's more of a, yeah, but that was no ventilation in there. It was like so bad, but it was packed out, and like everyone was singing along. It was so fun.
You play in the shelter in Detroit? Yeah, I know. Never ask somebody who's on tour where they're.
They tell me where to be,
I know, right?
and I'm there.
You're a passenger in the van. You'll be there.
Okay, I don't know if that's today,
but
we're playing. Oh, wait, that's today.
I think
we're playing
today.
Detroit today.
Today, yeah. Jeff is.
Maybe
Jeff is
the
on
Loving Touch. I don't know.
Oh, Loving Touch is great.
Okay.
You're
yes.
gonna love that.
Yeah.
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 Wow, that's funny. I'll be up there. So
Really?
Playing the Loving Touch in Ferndale.
we're rehearsing for the South by Southwest show right down the street from Loving Touch.
Oh, nice.
Tonight. So I may actually.
You should stop by.
I may actually harass you later. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm taking guitar to another one of our endorsers, Olivia Mainville via Mardot, who's getting ready to go to New York to do what's the show she doing? John Harden? We talked about it yesterday.
I don't think you talked to me about it.
You talked to someone about it.
I don't know what she's doing. I mean, I know some other stuff that she's doing.
Yeah, she's having
Some
them.
cool stuff.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Our female artist roster is on
Killing it.
fire.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
It's the takeover.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's do it. Let's go.
Yes.
All right. Check out Meet Me at the Altar on tour. Get the new record. Check it all out. This is Taya. It's been fucking awesome having you here.
Thanks for having me. This was so great. I'm so glad that it worked out, that we happened to be on the way.
I'm very excited about it. So let's go get some swag and get you on your way to Detroit. Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
See you
Thank
next
for
week,
watching.
everybody, for the South by wrap up. See you then.